Hey, welcome.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me once again. How are you?
I'm good, and thanks for coming here. That we're going to talk about Laws of Attraction, Chapter 4, that released this week, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. It was an interesting chapter. I had to go back through it a few times to get my head around it, but it was a really good chapter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, all the law terms and stuff. So, yeah, that's why it's a bit hard to get our heads wrapped around the chapter, but yeah, overall good.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting chapter, both for the law and gaining relationships. It was really eye opening. It's got me really excited for what's going to come next in the future of this book.
Exactly. Me too. So, first start with Chapter 4. Um, we know what happened before chapter 4. I mean, what happened immediately before chapter 4 at the end of chapter 3, and then what happened in chapter 4. So regarding that, first, overall, how do you feel about chapter 4? Your opinion on all the things that happened in chapter 4?
Well, when I got first into it, I thought it was just gonna be. I didn't think it was gonna be as big as it was. They came in and they made it such like the big issue. It's this big meeting in a big auditorium, special time of a year for a specific event, and something so competitive that it will most likely determine who's going to be a senior partner. And that I think that was really good of them to bring out as well. This big competition, and it's similar to how other law firms do it, but it's tweaked up a bit to make it that much more competitive, but that much more harder. It's really interesting, really. It kind of makes me think, what if they did this in real life? Who knows? Maybe we'd have different lawyers. But this was really a really good chapter. Well, the start of this chapter. We have the meeting. It's all suspense wise. I mean, we even tried to see if Aslin knows anything, which she does, but can't really get any information that early on. And then, of course, we're introduced. It's this giant case or made make believe case that we have to solve in a short amount of time to see if we work under pressure. But the way they do it is, really interesting. They're giving all of the main information. They instead of usually lawyers have to, or in that story, they have to find it out. They have to go digging and do lots of hours of research and work into the clients, the opposition. But in this, they give all the information out. They're trying something different, and it's actually quite interesting because I mean most people find it confusing, but they just don't seem to see the bigger picture. And it's really interesting how they do that. And once it's debated what's going on, this moot court, I think it was called. Um, you know, it's divided off. Two teams, a whole setup, and once it's then set off, the teams are. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be this different, but I did kind of expect it considering how many people are in this competition. We've got two teams, main character and Aslin versus Gigi, Bo, and Martin, and I do see it being a challenge for those two because we've got Martin, who, well, to be honest, mostly hides behind his ego, but he does have, quite a logical brain behind him. We've got Gigi, who is a master researcher. She does so much research in such little time. She can absorb so much information. And then we've got Bo, who is rather bold, but he still has his smarts about him. He'll take the bold approach. He'll answer all the main questions, and he'll go for little secret things. So I do think it'll be a challenge for our two characters, but it will also. But if they do prevail, it will also be a stronger win for them based on the opposition. But they do have, the MC who has his various skills in law. We've got Aslin, who is an upcoming character. She's very smart. She's a bit shy, but she's also good at researching. And I think they did a good choice with these teams. Really, I'm really eager to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm totally in agreement with you there. The way the chapter, the competition, yeah, I was like, why they could have called us? Probably there's a new case that we need to take. Then they introduce the concept of this moot court that we need to fight the case and stuff. And then I was kind of hoping that the team division would be different, but then I saw what they were doing, like Aslin and our main character. So with our love interest, we're bonded together in as a team, and then we have Gigi, and then Bo and Martin, as you said, on the other team. But here, I think I need to mention one thing. I don't know if you played the Dimension or not, but we have like also we have the support of paralegals, and I think Ryan is on our side, and we have this Dimension. We were digging through the case, and we were not finding anything, and it was really hard. And Ryan says, well, I can help you in my lunchtime. And we say, oh, you're going to do that? He said, of course. Then we, with the help of Ryan, we find a really important detail about the case. And then we have a conversation with Ryan, and we say, wow, you think like a lawyer, you should go to a law school. And he says like he has a debt and stuff. But that's the thing, like we have two people, but also we have three, because the brain of Ryan says, wow, you give me a lot of confidence. A lot of people just dismiss a paralegal, but you are bringing something new to me. So I think we're going to see more about Ryan's development throughout the book. But here I think Ryan is also filling up a spot, because we're giving the opportunity of Ryan. So it's three versus three, um, quote unquote, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was really interested to see that diamond scene. Getting us paired with Ryan, and just the fact that he offered his help to us was I found really really nice, nice gesture. He's the paralegal. He doesn't seem like he does much or like people care about him that much. But the way you can actually bring him into the team a bit, make him included, but also see a different side of him of how strong he is and how smart he is was a really good thing actually. His information I think will personally help with this case. I do think he does have the power to be a lawyer, and who knows? Maybe if the main character wins, hopefully gets some major passion, maybe he can make a move or a recommendation for Ryan, and he may move up. But I hope we see more Ryan in the future with the main character, because he's like the other dynamic partner of this little trio. He's like our third partner in this team. You got Gigi, Bo, Martin. We get given Aslin only, but when you think about it, we kind of got given Martin as well. So in all fairness, it's a fair three versus three, and we've got a bit of a better team now with a more of a hidden weapon, if you might say.
Yeah, hidden weapon. That's right. Yeah, I hope so. Like we're gonna see when they in a dimension they said it. So I think we're gonna see Ryan being a lawyer at some point. Yeah, maybe we're gonna recommend him, or maybe he's just gonna go to law school at the end of this book. So we're gonna probably see it. But yeah, I really like the character of Ryan and how they've designed it and how they're helping us. So it's pretty refreshing to see those kind of characters in a law firm that's pretty competitive, and really formal.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good thing to introduce him by. We had the first introduction of him coming into McGrath's law firm. He introduced us around the building, showed us our office, but then he just kind of disappeared. It's like this cool little side character that will will he only get these 2 minutes of fame to see us? But no, they wanted to bring him back, and I think them showing him in this magnitude, he may play a bigger role in the story and the cases in the future, which I really hope to see. And I'm also curious to see what other side characters they include, because from the chapter three, which we saw, they saw you can hook up and change relationships with characters, like we have with Lena. It kind of questions how many and who in terms of side characters are we going to see? I mean, I for one hope we see Lena again. She's really good competition. She knows her stuff. She catches her opponents off guard. She's a skilled lawyer. I won't be surprised if maybe we partner up with her one day. Who knows?
Yeah, that could be the thing, but I think they said at one point for a one night stand with Lena. So I don't think. So I think that was the last of Lena that we saw. So, yeah, but I think new characters will emerge, like just like flings, not anything. They're not our love interest, but just for one night stand and stuff. I don't know if you played the Perfect Match book, but I think at the end of the Perfect Match, it was like that you got to hook up with or have intimate scene with almost all the characters at the end, even the side characters.
Mm. Yeah, you get this. It's good that they give you this diversity to hang around with various characters, but they should give you a bit more option in who you can choose. Like, they're kind of limiting us to try and go for Gabe, but they're also giving us this bit with Aslin, which is more slow going, I'd say. And one thing I actually really do hope is something that happens, like because we had at the end of near the end of chapter 4, we had we had the love, the intimate lines, so that we could kind of flirt with Aslin a bit more. So that's hoping me to hope that in the next few chapters we finally get, maybe after this case, we get some intimacy and we get to start building some relationship with Aslin as the love as a love interest instead of Gabe.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in terms of love interest thing, what I saw, again, Gabe. I think personally, I feel like Gabe is the main love interest, and they're building a pretty good story line around him because again, this is the forbidden romance. You have the fire between you two. You're trying to flirt with Gabe. Gabe is also Gabe. At first, seems like he is letting the guard down and he's happy with it, but then again, he pulls back at the end and says, "No, it can't be done. I'm your boss." So we've seen it in Queen Bee. We've seen it in the nanny affairs. Sort of this forbidden romance part. But yeah, so the same thing with Gabe. And yeah, you're right. Aslin is she's our co-worker. So we're seeing some scenes like we're just going straight up. You're commenting something, and then Aston is commenting back, but we're not taking it to anywhere. But yeah, we just say, I think at one point Aston says we need to do something. I'm really my brain is fogged, and then we say yeah we can do, but with the windows open we can't do that and stuff. And then she just gives a she replies with a good nurtured laugh and stuff. But yeah, so we're gonna see more of this. But again, it's I think it's gonna be Gabe dominated, and that's a really good. People who are romancing Gabe, they will have a really nice opportunity because again, the forbidden romance. It's always been a curious. Whether you're watching a movie or reading a book or anything, this forbidden romance kinds are always favorite, and I think Gabe is a really important part because at the end of first chapter, I think they say when Gabe is the Gabe gets a spot that he is at that he got at the end of first chapter and someone retired. We think, wow, we they say then the realization hit you that Gabe is not only just he hasn't just got a new spot, but he's the person who's going to decide your future. Now, I think there could be questions because Martin is already like, he wants to dismiss us and saying stuff about us. And then if he finds out at any point, toward 11th chapter when probably the relationship is going to be so matured with both Gabe and Ashlyn, we'll have probably lots of intimate scene. Then if we get caught, then that could make up a scene, just like in Perfect Match. No, no, the Mismatch book.
Yeah, that yeah, like I said, it could complicate things, but it would be actually really interesting to see. Like especially if like say maybe you're with Gabe, and then or you're with Aslin, and then the other one sees you with another being intimate. That could complicate things. But also, I do think it would make an interesting chapter, like such as maybe if Gabe got wind of what Martin was doing, maybe if Martin started sabotaging, Gabe would do something about it. Just to jump at the fact to help you. But one thing about this is I think Gabe, in a way, is really more attracted to the main character, not just for his skill, but just for the person that they are. Because I think they remember saying in chapter 4, Gabe was actually the one who pitched to Sadie to bring the main character to McGraw Grind, to actually be part of the firm. And it was really interesting to see that. It came to quite as a shock. Like why did he get me? I thought the big boss wanted me, which she made the final decision, which she agreed with, very much. And then, but Gabe was the one who pitched the idea. He had his eye on the main character, God knows for how long. So it depends on, how far can this go, really, and what might happen if, say, you build up the relationship between these two characters throughout the story. What if things get a bit complicated and maybe you have to choose? Like, yes, we have Gabe as seeing as the main love interest, but we also have Aslin, so it could be a choice between the two, and we may even have a kind of choice that may affect something, like maybe in the law, maybe in life, especially between Gabe being the being one of the main characters, main bosses of the firm, and then we've got Aslin, who's a co-worker. Could he maybe might not want her around anymore, might try and fire her or something. Could get complicated throughout the story, and it'd be interesting to see how the characters might react to each other later on.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just like how I think they were planning this in Foreign Affairs book, there's Tatum versus Blaine. It was not anything serious, but at various points there were choices. Wrote some lines like Tatum was jealous or vice versa. So could be done something like that.
Yeah, like I said, we've got all these possibilities, and it's so early on in the book. There are so many possibilities, and there's just so much. It just shows how much more potential this book has. It's good sign of choices coming back and Pixelberry. Building up back the momentum. Building back good stories. It's so much potential, so much possibility, and I'm
Yeah.
curious to see maybe the fandom bring up some sort of theory ideas. See what they can come up with of what might happen.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, you're right about that. Was a shocker for me when I heard if you play the dimension only, then you can know. You go to the Chinese restaurant with Gabe at night, and then he says, "I you learn from him that he's the person who recommends he who recommended you to Sadie." So we were thinking maybe Sadie just picked us, and she was studying our cases, but it was Gabe actually. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting because how Gabe found us and why. So yeah, there was something from the very first moment in Gabe's eyes for us because when we meet Gabe, Gabe just takes us and goes to that another lawyer and asks us to for the tree law and help him out with the tree law, help him out with the case with the help of the tree law. So yeah, so at that moment, now it all adds up, like why Gabe did what he did at that moment. Because we were thinking, wow, you're a complete stranger. Do I know you? We're like that, but now it all makes sense.
Yeah, like I say, there's a lot of potholes being filled, and this could be an even bigger plot story. It could just be more than Gabe wanting to be a love interest. It could be something bigger, like the main character knows his stuff. Maybe Gabe's trying to climb the ladder at McGraw Firm, and he wants either the main character to help him and maybe by his side. It could be a whole bigger plot behind this. But there are a lot of potholes being filled in that could suggest something a lot stronger with these two characters.
Yeah, exactly. Agree with that. But yeah, it's gonna be super interesting. And and the idea of moot court, you get to fight a case and you bring back. So it's just if you watch this courtroom dramas or some live courtroom cases on TV, and then if you had a wish, oh wow, I wish if I were a lawyer, then this is a great thing throughout this book. Through this book, you get to live your fantasy as a lawyer. You get to question witnesses and solve cases. So it's like vicariously living through the book, and it's gonna be super fun. I don't think with the moot court we got much option in this chapter, but in the next chapter, I think the moot court, the fake case, of course, is going to be on trial, and we're gonna fight for our either the defendant or the plaintiff. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun in the next chapter.
Yeah, like I said, and one thing I'm curious is if this next chapter, this whole thing may go on for two chapters, like, I'm kind of hoping it doesn't, because I do kind of want to see this, build it, like, kind of move on, and then move on to something stronger. Like, one thing we've yet to see is this big case, because we have to assume there's going to be a big main case of the story, which I'm eager to see. And then there's one thing as well, like, but like I said, this moot course is big, and I think it will be really good because, it's you got to work under so much pressure in such a short amount of time, and you've got to make sure you have all the facts. With even though you've got all the facts given to you, you've got to dig deeper, like think way outside the box, and then not to mention all this pressure you're being given because you're at the end you're even told the entire firm of McGraw is going to be there. It's going to be as if it's like I think it's going to be like a kind of
A
a,
big
a
case.
foreseen sight of this big case that we'll see soon because we're thinking it's going to be a celebrity, and it's if it is or a big case, it's gonna have a lot of attention. Like, it's gonna have a lot of media attention. So I'm thinking this is kind of prepping us as players for what's going to come in the future chapters.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is going to be interesting, and I'm waiting for the next chapter. Now, the thing you mentioned, I want to ask questions. I have an opinion about that, and I just want to know what do you think about this. My question is the trailer they showed us, is it in sync with the story that they're showing? And because my personal opinion is that in the store the sorry trailer, they showed us that we're gonna get a tough competition from the law firm, that school in the New York. And then they showed us that there is gonna be one, I don't remember, it was a celebrity murder case or it's a big murder case, and while solving that case we're gonna see a big mystery. And we're going to uncover dark, deep secrets that we couldn't have ever imagined. Now, my question is that if this is the main plot, then are they wasting time with sort of this competition and stuff? Because if this is the good stuff, the main case, then should they move to the case? Because I personally feel like, we are already 4 chapters in, and the next chapter is fifth chapter. And as you said, this moot court thing could go 2 more chapters. Then, and they usually end their choices books at 16 chapters. Recent trends, Baby Bump is going on and on, but I don't think it's going to be the same for new books. Because so, and if that's the case, so do you think there's something like what happened in Foreign Affairs, for instance? They did some random things at the start. There was also competition, like debate about Rutherland and other. So we won the debate. We paired up with Blaine in that book also. And then what happened? They had some mystery, like with Wright, our mom's opponent. He was there, and there was a scandal. And then at the end, Winston, and that was so rushed. Like the scandal was there. There was a mystery for a bit, and then it was solved. So it was really rushed at the end. And so, do you think that this is the right approach? Because, for instance, for Veil of Secrets, from the chapter one, there was the main mystery. It focused on one, only on one mystery, and throughout the book that thing got dragged. And but so do you think if they have a big mystery in the store, and if this book is about that, they just bring it in from the chapter one, and if not, then at least chapter 3 or 4? Because the more they wait, the the pick, it gets sort of contracted, and it gets lesser time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, like you said, there's all the possibilities of being dragged out, being rushed. They've got to one thing with that we're always hoping with the coming of this book is that Pixelberry and the choices work on the time frames. Like so far, we've seen short cases last a chapter so far, which I think it's been all right. It's got the general premise across, and there's no bigger scandal. But in terms of the bigger cases, it depends how much of the story it appeals to. Like we've got like you said in the trailer, we've got it saying a celebrity state murder, which is supposedly the biggest part of the story. How is it going to be dragged out? And not to mention any other mysteries. Personally, how I hope it goes and how I want it to go, we have the mystery start toward maybe I'd say chapter 14 onwards, maybe 15 onwards, not taking up a huge portion of the book, maybe starting in with some small cases about it, like small cases that may refer to it and may build a bigger part. So like smaller mysteries that build up and join a part of the main story, as well as some side ones that come in and just bring it all together so that we invest. One thing about being a lawyer is you've got to go through all the mysteries, all the scandals. You've got to go through it all. You've got to get all the information. So I think this is kind of making more sense in terms of like the side and mysterious bits. You can build it all together and bring it all together in one, which I'm hoping they do in the final, in the final chapters when this case will most likely end. But they any mysteries will get followed up, and they will all have a big impact. Hopefully, who knows? Maybe certain mysteries you investigate will dictate how maybe the final chapter, the outcome of the final case, final chapter. Who knows? But I'm hoping that's the kind of direction they go. They don't rush it, but don't drag it out too long. Find that perfect middle ground, which so far I think they've been doing all right so far. I just hope they continue it. Find the middle ground. Maybe add some tension and different parts. Maybe include more chapters, further chapters toward the bigger part of the story to make it all seem together. I'm just curious for future chapters now. Hopefully they, stick by that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like if they give it the right time, then it's good. But I think so. Yeah, I have this thing because yeah, you're right about you need to solve other cases too. But if they could do one thing, yeah, I mean 3 chapters, some other things, but from chapter 4, if they had started the main case, or they could have done something. If it's like the main case is there, we're solving that. but inside also we're solving some other small cases. I think we had this in one choices book. I don't remember off the top of my head in which choices book. It was like there was a main mystery throughout the book. We were working on that, but also inside we were solving other cases too, here and there. So that would have been awesome. We have one case in hand, where that's the main case, but beside we're also solving other cases. There could be diamond scene, because like you said, there should be a right proportion, and wrong proportion always hurts the book. And I feel like when they said, like in the trailer, this is the main plot, and this is, and really interesting, mystery murder, something dark, and everybody would be so excited about it, how it gonna unfold, how they're gonna represent it, what's gonna happen. And so if they give it more time, because I feel like 5 6 after 7 chapters, or after 8 chapters if they started, and if they wrap it up within 16 chapters, then it's kind of rushed, I think. So they could do something like that. But I just feel like, what's happening, it's really interesting. It's really interesting, the competition and stuff. But I feel like, it's a lawyer book. I We're seeing these things, but I think after chapter 1 or after chapter 2, they should have jumped into the fray with the main case, with the main deal. Because the competition kind of book, we have lots of competition books, and I think really, right now a new genre would be mystery genre. And if they can be straight on with the mystery genre, that'd be really awesome, because we have competition books, a lot of competition books. And still there could be competitions, like there is a single case, a mystery case, and then we can still be fighting, like who solves the case. And there could be lots of leads, and like how Veils of Secrets one, at one point maybe we'll see, wow, the case is solved, the other point, no, it's not. And then there'll be twists and twists, because that'd be super awesome. And it would hook up a lot of players to the book too, because we haven't got that much a mystery book like that, with that much mystery in it, since Veil of Secrets, or since it lives. So that would be super awesome. No.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that as well. You want the mystery to prolong as well. And one thing you actually gave me an idea for is, one thing I've known about in some stories and TV shows is, when with big cases, sometimes like you can't win them, and but sometimes the lawyers don't exactly give up. They don't fight. Say for instance, you lose, and they maybe a murderer gets away with the celebrity's murder. What if maybe they're planning something like a comeback, like for a long stretch? So say for instance, it does start a bit earlier on, maybe in these upcoming chapters, like you said, and it comes up, but maybe we have the information, but maybe something sudden happens. We lose the case, but we're not determined to give up, and then we spend a few more chapters going through what we missed, going through how we failed, and then bringing the case back up and bringing it back, maybe happening for a second time for a second outcome. Because that's one thing I've seen in some stories. The big case gets lost, but they don't give up, and but then it gets brought back to the attention with new evidence brought to light, and it's able to do good finally. So maybe they're trying to bring a longer stretch here than just kicking out a regular case. Maybe they want to bring it back, put a lot more mystery into it. Because like you said, again, with the side mysteries, maybe that's where they'll come into play. We'll get the big case, we'll get a lot of information, something will go wrong, we'll look into some deeper mysteries revolving to the case, we'll bring it back, and we'll try and win it again, hopefully with a better outcome. So I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm right there with you. And for that, what you said is absolutely right. And for that, I think we need just more than 10 chapters or 11 chapters. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Like, they should have started from chapter 3, because, this fake cases, courtroom fights. Yeah, these are really fascinating, really fascinating. But I think when you have shown a trailer that shows a mystery murder, and when we haven't gotten any, they don't and yeah, they matter maybe in just one chapter, in one diamond scene, like whoever wins, they would get the lead in that case. For those things, those purposes, they matter. But really dragging them for 2 chapters, I think it's okay if they sort of give equal time to the mystery. But I'm just worried, because what happened in Foreign Affairs, that shouldn't just be repeating, that shouldn't repeat, because in that way it would be another really disappointment for the fans who are waiting for a mystery book. Because there is a forbidden love, to love interest, there are going to be intimate scenes, and all the cases going on, the fighting. So I just hope the mystery doesn't get lost in all those things, in the horde of those things, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But so far we've seen quite a lot of potential this book, and I hope to just see more of it as well. And one thing that kind of struck me as well is with Martin really, him being, he's part of McGraw firm, but he's not exactly got a good placing. I think he's third currently for this partnership. But one thing that may, because he's given me the impression, or the writers are giving me the impression that he may become a bigger part of an antagonist for us. Because he doesn't like us. He has a serious problem with us. So one thing I'm thinking is, what if this continues on in a different way? What if, say, for instance, we win this partnership and Martin decides to leave the firm and maybe gets into a bigger opposition? And what if Martin turns out to be the opposition in this big case? Who knows? Because he's been wanting to. I think he's been wanting to go at us for a while. He wants to be better than us. What it would make sense that they maybe give him the opportunity to go against us in this huge case and the chance to bring us down, which again brings back to the comeback stretch thing that I said. We lose the case, Martin gets all cocky, he wins, but then we come back and we fight back harder, we win against Martin. And because it came back to the part of in chapter 2, I think it was, when the competition was announced. One thing the main character could actually reference was, since he said there's no overall rules, what if we could sabotage, what if we could sabotage our opponents? Truthfully, I think if Martin may do something to sabotage us, maybe he might tamper with our work, after this partnership thing or after this moot case thing, because he wants to be better than us. He hates us. He just seems like this person who are building up to be a big antagonist. So he could sabotage the big celebrity case to win. We may have to find that out and then come back and expose him. It's just putting things together with Martin being this negative antagonist character along with a big celebrity case. A lot of possibilities, but I think that is one I'd like to see. Martin getting jealous and wanting to try and fight back at us with this big case, and again with the sabotage. I think that would build up to be a huge, amazing plot, really.
Yeah, that would be fascinating plot, and that reminds me of high school stories. Something like happened. I think there was Brian or someone did the same thing, joined the opposition school, and we fought against that. We played a homecoming match against them, and that can be done, I think, and it would be super awesome. But I also have one feeling that how they, I think throughout at the end of the book, like the partnership challenge, I think they're gonna drag it throughout the book and till the last chapter, and then they're gonna announce like, wow, you have won the partnership challenge. So I think it's gonna continue. I have, because I, like in high school books, there's this prom queen, prom king challenges, and at the end, last chapter, they tell you who has won this. Or in other books you also saw, for instance, foreign affairs, we were building up the diplomacy points, and then at the end chapter we saw what happened, the result of the diplomacy points. So that's just a feeling that tells me probably, the competition is going to go on throughout the book. And what you're saying could be true for, if they say if there's going to be another book, then there it could be there, because when we got our home, the like where we live, we got to choose our apartment, and then they said, choose an apartment that's going to continue for the whole series. Now I don't know, by series they meant this book, or like there are going to be more books. So that could be done, what you're saying about Martin being jealous that they lost and joining forces with our opponent, some big law firm, and in the second book they go with that. That would be more like it, because that would be a great plot for the second book.
Yeah, like I said, with the way they're building this up, there is a possibility for a second book, but truthfully, I'm not sure how I feel about that. We've got this. I know it's early on to tell, but this seems more like maybe a single book. Although I do think if the outcome does become really positive, the potential this book comes out, people may ask for a second book. If it comes to that point, I would say yes, but I would say limit it to 2 books. I think going a third book can be good, but it depends how long the story is and what's in it. So it kind of depends. 2 to 3 books, is a limit for books, depending on how well they do. Otherwise, you're just kind of dragging it out. But like I said, there is that possibility, with the long stretch, especially say if Martin becomes an antagonist rival, that could continue on in the second book, and it could go deeper with like maybe there's a specific reason Martin doesn't like us, beside the fact that we're just we're just better, yeah, in a way. Maybe there's something deeper to that. Maybe we'll go into some deeper backstories. There's all sorts of possibilities that I think I'd like to see explored, and I hope that they do make this right path. So it's really eager to see, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited too, but I'm kind of conservative here because just the past experiences. Because foreign affairs, and I'm saying I'm conservative because I really like the books. This book it's pretty new because, and still I'm liking it. Like I like Gabe, I like Aston, I like specifically Ryan and all the characters, and I like foreign affairs very much. But I think at some point in the way in the middle they didn't do the justice to foreign affairs. Maybe they should have given it more. It was good book. Ending was good, but maybe they could have been more straightforward with a lot of things, or there should have been more climax. And that's why I'm a little bit worried, or I'm just kind of guessing like, wow, is this gonna be the same? Because that's why I can't really trust. Because like what's happening now, it really makes sense, and it is really, and it's not just about foreign affairs. I don't know if you have read um Distant Shores or not. I was reading Distant Shores. I remember I was super excited. Well, wow, this Distant Shores was also my favorite book. I mean, all the books that I read in choices, they're my favorite. Definitely, I don't know why, but they're really. But then I was like, "Wow, this is a mystery of the Golden Compass and stuff." Then at the end, they did something, and that was the same thing. I think the way this laws of attraction is going on, that was the same. At first, they said like, "There's a war, there's a mutiny and stuff." And then there's a pirate captain. We went somewhere. We wasted some chapters doing something, and then at the end, the battle happened, and we didn't even know why we got. I think I missed something. I don't know, but I didn't got to know. I didn't get to know why we were chosen for the Golden Compass. Edwards passed in more details, or about Charlie. So I think a lot of questions were unanswered at the way, and that really turned me off. Like, wow, I have lots of questions at the end of the book. So that's what I'm saying. If those things, I have seen back to back two books, that and this new books. I mean, not in sequel, but so those things they shouldn't be continuing in a book like Laws of Attraction, because Laws of Attraction, Foreign Affairs, or Distant Shores are kind of same book. Kind of adventurous book, mystery book, and fun book. Like you have lots of competition and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm just a little bit curious and
Yeah, like I say, you got the you're right to think that. We're all right to think that with the past experiences we've gotten from recent books like Foreign Affairs, a book with potential can have a huge downfall in the eyes of the community and how we like it. And we've got these two books. We've got Slow Burn as well. We've got Laws of Attraction, both stuffing up to be really good books. So at the end, we just got to have some faith now. We've seen some promising potential from choices. We've seen them build up back a bit. They're getting some momentum back. They're doing better, in my opinion. So I guess all we can say is we have to have faith, and hopefully they can bring these two books up, and especially with Laws of Attraction. And who knows, we may even see the sequel. We just
work.
really hope we don't get a Foreign Affairs repeat. We can have these books be outstanding, maybe have their sequels, and that just be the starting point for choices starting back up to bring us some amazing books once again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Choices is like the hashtag one app, this kind of simulation based app. They are the hashtag one app, and I don't think there are any other apps out there like that much promising like Choices are, and that much with variety, that much inclusion, that much, sort of diversity. I mean, you just name it. Choices has everything, and their books. I mean, there are vampire books in other book app stores too, but it's Choices. Whatever topic they touch, they just do super awesome. But what's the problem, and why so many fans are, I think, like really get heartbroken. The thing is that when if I give you a food that is not good, you're gonna say, all right, yeah, this is a bad food. I don't want that, but that's okay. But if I what they're doing, they're giving us a great food, and they're just giving in some amount, and they're doing something that is really like, wow. they're leaving us craving for more. I understand their cancellation for some books. I totally understand that, but I understand also, like, it's not always possible to go sequel for all the books, because if I know, like, someone's gonna say, wait, this is my favorite book and you are not giving it sequel. So it's really hard to give all the books a sequel. So if they start giving all the books sequel, then there won't be any new books. So they release a book, they release three books, and they would make another sequel. So it would be an app store with just three books and 100,000 sequels of those three books. So I totally understand with the sequel part. But the thing I think, like I said, in Distant Shores, I think at somewhere they're losing something about that book. So I think if they just make it just like a cracker, that just one book, that would be super awesome, because it would be like, for instance, Hero Book. That was a fun book. And so yeah, I think that would be super awesome. And how they did things back in old days, I think they're trying to have some problem balancing the romance and plot, but I think they're doing a really good job balancing romance and plot. But I don't know. It is a length problem, like how long the choices story should be, because in choices the stories are really long. I don't think in any other book, in other app stores, the stories are really long, and it's really good when you have long chapters. You get to learn more, because you're not just watching the faces of your love interest or other characters. You want to know the story, and to know the story you need time. So yeah, all is good, but the thing is just that they some point they need to just make the best, because choices is best, and they have given us best in the past. So that's why I think we just keep expecting more from them, and that's the point. So yeah, and when they slip a little bit, we get disappointed as fans, because we love seeing the best from them, because we have expectations. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you say, with the books outstretching, and why my personal opinion, in terms of books, I would only go so far as one sequel, so two books or a trilogy, because in most story cases, going further can kind of kill the story, like with the Fast and Furious series. That's going on for too long. People are stopping to like the series anymore. Even the actor themselves, even the actor himself, Vin Diesel, doesn't like it. So it's like I said, it depends how far, but in my opinion, a trilogy is the bare max. At least a book two, I'd say, gives you more to work with and more to enjoy in terms of a story. But I can understand them not giving every story a sequel. Some of them they make to be just one book long. But if that book has potential, give it at least one sequel to advance and try and get the rest of it all in, or maybe a third book. That way you can create a long-standing book, a popular book, and then you can not waste time on more sequels when you can just finish it there and then and move on to more books. But yeah, it's like you said, we expect a lot from choices. They've given us a lot. They do an amazing job, and I guess that's why we expect so much. They've hit their rough patch, but we're still expecting to hear some good results, and we still hope that they can give us some amazing books. And in terms of, well, yeah, sequels, depends on the outcome of the story. If it's a good story, like, Queen Bee, bring out the
Yeah.
sequel, which is coming out this summer, I believe. Hopefully.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank God for that. We've got Nanny Affair, in my opinion, one of the best books. Got the sequel coming out in the coming months. And there was a third book. Can't remember what it was. But like I said, I
Yeah.
think,
Crimes of Passion and Zombie book, and then the Royal Heir.
yeah, yeah. So like I said, I'm eager to see how these books will come out. I enjoyed these books. I think, yeah, they deserve a sequel, possibly a trilogy, depending on how far the story goes and how much more people want to see of the characters. But I'd say trilogy is my limit, because going further than the trilogy, it opens a really bad way to take the book, especially if characters start dying off due to tragic events. It kind of changes things completely. Bringing in new love interests, etc. Keep it one based and keep it smooth, but keep it limited.
Yeah, I agree with that, and yeah, I agree with you. Choices and its condition, and also we need to consider the because since I think they last released Bolus, Blades of Light and Shadows, and kind of Distant Shores half was done. But after that, the pandemic started, so we also need to keep in mind that, because at that time all the app stores were closed, but Choices, they were open. I think they were the only app that was open, and that was releasing any book at that moment, because all the other choices, not choices, just interactive story game apps. They stopped producing books. I think so. I don't know. I'm not. You need to fact check that, but I think that's what the case. But choices, they were releasing books and lots of books to release, and it's still. So yeah, I think that this could be a big part of that. But yeah, we would like to see more books, and let's hope like Slow Burn is doing pretty good. That's what I'm hearing, and Laws of Attraction. It's a new book, and it has a long way to go. And yeah, we'll see about that, like what they do more with this.
Yeah, I mean, there's still plenty of time. We still got a lot of time. Choices still being one of the main storybooks. Still got lots of potential overall as an app and as a game. So it's just eager to see. Yeah, there are lots of cutting and corners and a lot of things to worry about. But in terms of its current state, there's still so much more they could do with it. I mean, the app itself only came out a few years ago, I believe.
Yeah, 2016, I think.
2016. We're in 2021 now, so that's going on what, 5 years, give or take. I'd say it could still, considering what they've brought out from it, be what it was then to now. There's still so much more they could do with it, and there's still so much more it could improve and be better. And I still think it could be a long-standing game for years to come, if they play it right, especially with the way they handle their stories, and especially with the way you know like animation and art can advance. We're only at what we're at a good stage now, but think of what could come out. It could be like we see the characters, but what if they start to develop a new kind of story animation where we can actually see it being played out? There's so much possibility for these games and for choices. It's just hard not to keep up with, really. I'm just really hope we can see something like that. It's just amazing in the future, especially for
Mhm.
choices.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, lots of things about charts. I mean, first thing that I like, I think I don't know if any other game apps they do that or not, but you just forget about the story for a second. Just forget about artwork. Forget about anything. But just remember, just one thing is to focus on one thing, and that's their music. That is super awesome because choices and the way they find music for every situation. When you are at beach, the music of, or the jungle, the scene, and that I think we talked about that last time also regarding It Lives Beneath or It Lives in the Woods. So the way they design the music, it can calm you, it can make you laugh, it can scare you, you can be afraid, and so the music they run deeper. It just touches your heart. The Dakota Winchester book, with every heartbeat, the musics were super awesome there. I mean, that's how. I mean, choices music is their plus point, and super awesome music. It's just amazing. You can just listen to them all day long if you want to, and specifically Big Sky Country, those country musics. Like the small town, you are just relaxing, hanging back, or you're maybe sitting on a porch, and those musics they played, it was a different, it just spiritually it takes you to a different world. If you close your eyes, you can imagine yourself being there. And like you said, artwork then, and then the way they write the story, their storytelling is one of the best storytelling, I guess, and specifically if they do it in the first person, then it is super awesome. I hope I get to see more books that are written in first person, because it is way more interactive than books written in just an instructive manner.
No, yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. The music, like we did cover before. In my opinion, books and stories combined with music is an absolute like just an absolute phenomenon. The music, it can it it's like the story. The story you've got playing in your head and you've got it playing to yourself, but when you've got the music, it affects you completely. You get this. You either feel the thrill or the fear or the deep sadness of a either a deep intimate scene or a saddened scene, and the music just it adds the perfect spirit to the story. It adds exactly what you need, and it adds on to the emotion that you get from the story. You're feeling upset, you see the saddened scene with the added music, it'll just make you even more, make you feel even more deep. Your emotions will be a lot stronger with the added music just to go along with it. It's a really good combination, and one I do have to give them props. The music choices they've made that I've seen so far are absolutely amazing. You know, from Open Heart, Nanny Affair, Elementalists, all the various kinds of music that they also merge into each of the stories. Like they don't just stick to one soundtrack for one story. Like TNA only has three official of its songs that they've made for that story, and they've included various others, including one song from I think it was Endless Summer for the accident chapter of chapter 18 in the Nanny Affair, and it was when you were crashed. You know, with the main character, she was just in a crash. She didn't know she was gonna live, and just the music from that song was just so deep. You know, it was like a deep oasis. It was absolutely amazing. I loved that song, even if it was just for that one part. It was still had such a deep meaning added on to the actual part of the story. You know, in the accident, what's going to happen? Am I going to see everyone again? And then just cut to black. The music fit in perfectly with that. That was just an amazing instance of the music combining with the story. I love that.
Yeah. Did you read Distant Shores?
I did not. That is one of the ones I need to read as well. But I have seen a lot of about it.
No, there's a music, it's not, it's a song, the pirate song they sing. I mean, it's holy, it's just awesome. I have this playlist even in my phone. I just play the song. It just feels like in the music, the ripple of the sound, that is the ripple sound of water, the sea waves. It seems like, wow, you're sitting with other pirates in a pirate ship, and there's someone is singing the song beside you, someone's humming that song. That is super awesome. I like that song in Distant Shores. One of the many things I liked about the book.
Yeah, that just reminds me of like the happiness of or the happy feeling of those moments, those joyful moments. You know, like you can joy them up with like a song, like a good old sea shanty from my old times. Like there's a couple old ones. You know, there's one song that's actually started blowing up. The Wellerman song. I don't know if you've heard it from Nathan Evans. You know that he just made up this shanty in his spare time, and you know it had a deep meaning because it
Yeah,
it wasn't like the all the songs we have now all pop and hype. It was just a standard song with with a good beat and a good reference to a happier time, an old time, and just a
yeah.
basic feeling. But
Laser time of those
yeah,
hardworking people, yeah, or the
yeah,
pirates, yeah,
just something so original, but something so deep with a meaning of it. And then just the song itself was absolutely amazing. You know, it just kind of references back to the fact of old types of songs, you know, of the olden days, back to times when some times were better than others, like before the COVID pandemic, back in early, what, 1800s, 1900s, pirate ships, all that stuff. Gives a
mm,
deep meaning, this music. And the fact that we're
yeah,
bringing back such old songs into a modern base is just absolutely amazing.
fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those songs, I have seen those songs basically resemble, like how the people work. They have no hard meaning. It's just, what they do, what they love, what they like, everything, their lifestyle, how things are, specific things were, I should say, because these are old time songs, and just how their life as sea shanties, and just, on sea, how their life goes on the shore, everything, all their pain, their love, their feeling, everything they just represent through that song. It's really easy, it's not hard to understand. There are no metaphors, there are no nothing, but it's just so plain but so deep, in one way or another. So yeah, it just calms your mind from the inside.
Yeah, and I think as well with some of the like I will admit I some of the music they've used in LOA like for that storm it's a bit it's not as deep a feeling. It's more of a just a like at the start of the first chapter of the first court case. I felt that music. It was more of a like a background kind of music, like in one of the
Yeah,
ones
it gets you
they
hyped.
suggested.
Yeah,
But they still it was still okay. You know, they still had the other music to bring in, and there's still potential for other types of music. But you know, the where the most music's played out, it does give such an amazing experience. And it's like I said, music, books, perfect combination. It
yeah,
really sends a message to you, and it makes make you feel your emotions a lot. It's
yeah,
just an absolutely amazing experience.
yeah. They're making the word interactive really, true. I mean, this is really interactive. Music, words, art, their artwork, and then all of those combined. That's a, you know, that's a sort of, you experience those. That's an experience. That's a, great feeling.
Yeah, and there's also the also another word you can add on, which is immersive. One thing I always came up with an idea of is, we've got these interactive stories. What if they were to able to expand to the level of, I don't know, virtual reality? What if we were able to be in these stories, listen to the music, we'd see the artwork, we'd interact with the characters, we'd just see it from such a more immersive standpoint. That is one thing I'd personally love to see. Just being able to stand in the room, you see your love interest or your friends, the whole art of the rooms around you, like, because that would expand art all around. Because they do focus on, say, maybe just like one-sided 2D screens, but they are really, really phenomenal. But this would allow them to work on immersive 3D, and I think
Yeah,
this would be an amazing step. And then the
yeah,
music would just add on even more. The emotions, you actually feel it even more because you feel like you're in the story, and it would be amazing, especially paired up with I can't remember what company it is, but they have actually started making bodysuits for virtual reality, which they paired up with the horror game Phasmophobia to actually have deep feelings to make you feel like you're in the game. So I think those bodysuits, paired it with virtual reality, paired it with choices maybe, I think that would be an outstanding standpoint for them.
yeah. And probably we're looking at the future. Maybe in future we're gonna have this. And yeah, just, you can wear your glasses. You can just, you'd be in the story. And I think, instead of just those words, then you can have the character pop up, the scenes pop up, the background music, and maybe they will be speaking. Like, their voice. It's not a computer voice, but their own voice. Like how, I don't know, in lots of games you have the own voices. So the same way, it would be super awesome. It's gonna be really hard work to all those function, all those things, but it's gonna be like, absolutely. Then you're gonna have, you're gonna talk, and they're gonna get your input, and then it's gonna be hard. I mean, this is, maybe we're looking at a smart future, but yeah, this would be immersive. I mean, truly immersive.
Yeah, I could just see. I could just see. Interactive mobile story game goes to interactive immersive virtual reality game. It'd still have the phone, and they could apply those to the more phone. Like, 'cause there are some virtual reality sets for like just the phone that you can view, and then they'd also have it to be able to continue on a computer or a console for the actual virtual reality set, and it with a bodysuit. Ready Player One style. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. It would be hard work, but I think with choices, and Pixelberry, they, as well as many others, they have the determination, and I think with all the support they get, this would definitely be a good way to expand on their community and expand the game overall by making it much more interactive, much more immersive, and just appealing to a really wider audience. I think this would be a really good play by them. Granted, it will take a lot of time and money, but I think with the determination that they have and the writers doing such a good job, the artists, etc., I think it's possible, and I really hope to see something like that in the future.
Yeah, that would be super awesome, because that would define the whole thing in a new way. That would be a new definition of this thing, and I'm definitely looking forward to that, thing being true. Because if that happens, then, like I said, we're going to be looking into, the games, into the stories in a new way. And if they add the old stories, so just imagine playing Endless Summer, or just imagine playing Nanny Affair, or, let's say, Distant Shores, or, any of, like, Blades of Light and Shadow, those books in, that virtual reality. You'd be standing in a courtroom, you're fighting a case, and you'd be like, wow, I'm standing there. And I know, like, when you put on those 3D glasses, it's completely like, you feel like Gabriel they showed for Sam sitting on the table, that was already like fabulous. And with, 3D, it would be like, I mean, you would doubt, like, which one is the reality, the one you just saw in the game, or the one you used to live.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's so much to come with it. Like, some things I can imagine off the top of my head, the type of scenarios you'd be in. Like, say for instance, I'm using Nanny Affair as an example, just off the top of my head. You're in the car crash. Say for instance, what if they managed to augment it so you can actually feel a bit of the impact of, flying over, flipping over, and like, the part where you're in the hospital, you can feel the sprain, you can feel a bit of interaction there, or say for instance in chapter 19 when it's been revealed that you've been having the affair and etc. Everyone's got their eyes on you. You can just feel the atmosphere and just feel all the eyes at you and feel that feel just feel uneasy, just those immersive feelings, and then you can also feel happiness, like one of them being
Yeah.
the final chapter where you're in the airport, you're about to leave, and suddenly you hear a name, turn around, and you see Sample sprinting at you. Like that would be such a heartwarming feeling in virtual reality. Just being able to turn around and hear that, and oh, just so many possibilities, and just so much immersion would be an absolute
Yeah.
dream come true for I think the entire fandom.
Yeah. And even it would attract more people also, and it'd be a whole new experience for a lot of people, everybody, to be honest.
Yeah, and like, what if, like, because some people like their action. Like, what if we had some, like, It Lives? We had a couple action scenes there. What if
Yeah.
you're able to kind of get back into it? Actually join in, give them a bit of a hand. Able to turn the tide of a balance. Maybe they change up the chapters so that with you being in virtual reality, with you being able to have an impact, you can have an impact on how that chapter plays out. Maybe it goes bad, maybe it goes good, and you can actually get in the fight and help. Feel the thrill as well. I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that will be amazing indeed. Let's hope like that where we're going, and yeah, let's hope that it is super awesome, man. But still, even without that, that's about virtual reality. But even still, we don't have virtual reality still. But still, with the music, and if you just see the background or even the characters, and if you close your eyes with and if you just in your mind you repeat the lines you read, then you can just imagine you're there. So and that's the one that's the really I think important, because you don't have virtual reality, but the way the charts musics are, the way the stories are designed sometimes, and the background are this music are also background music too, and it just takes you there. If you close your eyes, you don't have virtual reality, but you still feel like you're there. That's you got to give them credit, because you got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, you have to give credit where it's due. They do an absolutely amazing job for how, I guess you could say, limited they are, because they're only on mobile. You can only do so much with a phone, and then with the concept of virtual reality, just the way they do things now, the music, the art, the messages, the text, it just proves the point that there is so much potential for this type of game, for these type of stories to advance to virtual reality. Just imagine hearing the music all around you and just being able to feel part of it. Just that's with the way they present it now, it just makes it absolutely impossible to not think about the future of how this could just progress. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. This is completely immersive, and also the way they're designed too. And let's hope we're looking like I said, that happens. And meanwhile, they keep producing the books, the music. They're doing more and more new music, new great musics, new great books, and of course great books, because you're looking at laws of attraction. We are waiting for it to end on a good note and to read awesome chapters in the coming weeks. And also, we have high expectation with Crimes of Passion, Zombie Book, and the new sequels.
Definitely. Yeah, I can't wait to see how those pull out. And then we've also got Slow Burn. That's taking a dramatic turn, I believe, in the most recent chapter. I need to catch up on it, I believe, but it's definitely shaping up to be also a promising book. I hope both these books have an exceptional, like just an exceptional story, and that just is the lift off that Pixelberry needs to get back on track and to just advance with these books, as well as the upcoming future ones that which are, I'm pretty sure, long requested sequels. So we're in a time where this will be a good pickup scene for Pixelberry. The perfect pickup they need to get back on track.
Yeah, and then we can look on to new books next year, and then that way we'll go on, new genres. Because I believe we don't have any sports genre, and we didn't have any law genre that much. So included that they're including detective genre, zombie. So I think they are stepping feet into untraveled, really undiscovered new territory, and it's really fearful. It's scary to go to a new territory. You don't know how the fandom is gonna accept you, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, law terms are just I don't understand." But so it's scary. When they did My Two First Loves, they had a feeling like maybe people are not gonna accept us. But it depends on how you feel personal on a personal basis. Like for instance, I am really crazy for My Two First Loves. I read the 100 chapters every day, and it was super awesome. And after 70 chapters, I lost my progress. Then I needed to play again 70 chapters within 1 week or 2 week. I did that. So I think this new, trying, experiments, the choices are doing, and this really takes courage, because they're afraid, how fans are gonna see us, how we're gonna be accepted. They don't know about that, but still, undiscovered, a really untraveled territory, and they're going into those territories, and they're getting success also with lots of books, and they're you know some establishing new meanings and new things. So it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's like you said, through life, through projects, through everything, it's trial and error. Experimenting is a good way to get past it. It's like I said, I really do hope they bring up these genres. There's still so much more they could capture. Like the way they capture it is amazing, and then the way they can expand to all these different type of genres, these different type of settings, and to make them more immersive, it would just be an absolutely amazing play for them. Especially with music added on, artwork, just the detail of the writers coming from the stories. There's just so much they could do with it, and yeah, like I said, they will face backlash on some things, and they will face backlash from people who might not see as much as the rest. But I personally see that as long as they're doing what they love and they are appealing to as much of the community as they can, and they're still providing good, great content, that's a good win for them. They appeal to the community that they like. They get the backlash, they get the hate, they acknowledge some issues. Like there's a difference between acknowledging issues and like things you might not agree with than throwing full on hate. There's the difference between that. They acknowledge the I say complaints, the opinions they have, and they block out the hate, and then boom, perfect. You focus on that part of the community that you can improve on, that you can make more happy with the stories you make. There's just a lot to do, but a lot of it will be trial and error, and I do like that they experiment. It's a good way to see. It's a good way to find out how the community would see and how they appreciate these type of experiments and these paths that they're taking to make their stories and their books a lot more better, interactive, and more immersive for the community.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really agree with that. And also with experimenting, it's also a good thing, because if they experiment with the book, then people liked it. That's good. They can give it a sequel depending on how many people liked it, and if it's really profiting for them. But if people don't like it, then that's also good. They just make one book and then they stop it. If some people are gonna like it, and for them they have just one book, so it's a win-win for everyone. With trying new things.
Yeah, you've got your favorite books. You might like the one book, they might not make a sequel for it, but that just, if anything, that's kind of a sign just to, yeah, you can have your favorite, but that's also a sign to kind of try something new yourself. Say for instance, you might not be into this type of genre like law. It'd be a good way to test yourself. You get into these different stories, see what there is, see what it's like, and it can open. Oh, it's basically you opening your eyes to something new, which could have a great effect, in fact, on you, and then you can actually give that effect to the rest of the community. So there's so much you can do with it.
Yeah. I have first hand experience with that. I remember just the last year I used to watch a show. I mean, I was watching that show because I didn't have anything to watch, and I watched a cool show before that. So I was like, oh, it's not that cool, it's like that. But I kept watching it because I didn't have anything to watch. And then, ironically, when this ended, I was like, all right, this is the best show I've ever watched, and thank God I found it. And I'm kind of obsessed with that show still today. So exactly. You will never know unless you go, unless you try. So it may look kind of dull. It may look kind of boring on the outside, but when you go, you are 6 chapters in, you're 6 seasons in, 6 episodes in, then the tension builds up, then the plot builds up, then you're like, wow, this is you never understand, if you just watch. It's kind of like it's kind of relationship. I was like, if you just watch a person, you can't tell how they look, like, wow, this looks interesting, or wow, this looks bad. But you gotta, just talk with them. You gotta, build a, you gotta spend time with them, and then you will know, wow, so this is this. And then maybe you can hate them or you can like them. And that's the same thing with books, or yeah, it's the same thing with, series, movies. A movie is kind of stiff, mainly series and books.
Yeah, it's like you say, there's so much you can do, so much can affect you, and you just got to take that leap of faith. You got to try and you got to take some risk. It's not as if it's going to affect you badly. It's just gonna change how you see certain things and maybe make you feel a lot better on it. There's just so much you can do. There's so much in the world, so much that can be presented, and so much that choices present for us that can even change our outlook. There's just so
Yeah.
much to it than people would see. People just see it as oh, this is just a little story game, a little pathetic, blah blah blah. But when you actually, one thing that you always do, look into something because it always has a deeper meaning than what it seems. It's more than meets the eye.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I remember I think one of my physics teacher told me that while learning quantum mechanics. He said, like, look, there's a line in Shakespeare by Horatio or something. He said, like, look, always have an open mind, because there are more things combined in earth and in heaven than can be thought of or than can be dreamed of in your philosophy. So that's the thing, have an open mind, have a, open perspective. So yeah, be adaptive, be open to everything. You never know what can touch you, what can really affect you deeply, and then it can make you affectionate for that.
Yeah, it just makes me think back to when I first had choices and how it's just affected me overall. It's made me feel better as a person. It's made me want to explore new things. It's helped. It helps people, and the stories are just so uplifting. It helps, and it's a good thing to enjoy. There's just so much to it than people would say. There's so much to every little thing. Things are more than they seem. Everything is about, just trying something and looking into it instead of just seeing something and passing it off just like that. Try,
Yeah,
try, try, and that's all you can do. Once you try, you can prevail.
yeah, I'm 100% there with you. That's absolutely right. And on the same context, with laws of attraction is super awesome. By the way, I can't wait for the next chapter too. To like how we're gonna fight the case. Well, I know I'm gonna win main character, because if we play our cards right, and I think we have an evidence, thanks to Ryan and thanks to the diamond scene. But I can't wait to find out what happens in the next chapter. Truly, and also if at the end of next chapter we can get a hint, like, finally we're moving to the big case. From the 6th chapter onward, we're gonna, get our hands into the main case, the darkest, deepest case. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. So I'm really excited for the next chapter.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how it's gonna play out because it's hopefully going to show us hopefully being able to get the partner position, changing how things are going to work out at the firm, especially how things are going to work out with Aslin. Hopefully, we get to build up our relationship with her, and especially how it's going to see us build it with the rest of the team. Like, if we get hopefully we get the partnership. Hopefully, we win the moot case, which I think we will. I have faith in my character and our team, but it's also like, how's this going to affect the rest of the team? Because there are 5 of us. We're on good terms with Aslin and Gigi, and we're getting good terms with Bo. But it's like Martin, how's he going to take this? How's he going to try and go us? Like, I have no intention of letting him win. That's all I can say for the first part. Personally, he's an okay lawyer, but he's way too jealous and has way too much behind his ego to be the best. They'd be the best. Like our character's got emotion, which most people could see as a flaw, but it depends how you utilize that emotion, how you make it work with you. And personally, I think our main character will be. He'll have to deal with mine, but I think as long as he's got, like, well, Bo said, with his ultimate team, which I think is Gigi, Bo, Aslin, and him, the 4-man Gigi team, maybe with Gabe. as a bit of a help, but I think that'll be the perfect standpoint for them.
Yeah, I think Bo is, he's sort of represented as a sort of cheeky, naive character, who is just comments a lot of things, but maybe doesn't live up to expectation that much. But yeah, we'll see. Martin seems like the character that could be really volatile at the end of the but book. Maybe he can be really dangerous for our main character in more ways than one. But also, we got to keep an eye out for Bo too, because he is also Sadie's nephew, and he seems okay guy. He seems fun. Just he's gonna let loose, a booze guy, and kind of naive to make comments, and then but we never know what happens at the end. Because like you said, Martin, he's a he's got everything a lawyer needs, kind of, but like he's too jealous, or he just wastes too much of his time looking into other ones case or other one, instead of looking into his own case, or so that kind of keeping him back. But yeah, we'll see more than that. And I have seen somewhere Gigi said like she doesn't want much credit or something, because I remember when Ashlyn, our main character, and Gigi solves the first case, we get the diamond scene, we study someone, we cancel him, like we cross him out because he's not the perfect witness for us. And Ashlyn doubted that, and we confirmed that. So Gigi said, "Look, don't give me any credit. I'm not here for the credit." So I don't know if she's gonna give us much competition. Like she's there to learn or probably do something of her own. So we'll have to, wait for that too.
Yeah, like I say, it does build up for the team. Gigi, she just wants to be a team player, and personally, with the way they are, I don't think Gigi and Bo will get along really well with Martin in that team. So I personally think the team we're going against has a bigger disadvantage and more flaws than just the two-man slash secret three-man team that we have going on.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Bo and Gigi, they work okay together. They're pretty good. But with Martin, like he even started bringing up some things at the start of chapter 4 that Gigi was like she regrets who's going to be on his team, when in fact she was going to be the one on his team. So with the and all he does is spend time, rather just insulting or being jealous of people. I don't think he's going to actually take the potential that both of those have. I think they're going to work together, but Martin's going to cause a cliffhanger, and they're not going to be able to settle on things. I just personally think we got this. That team has disadvantages, but we take Bo and Gigi to our team. We make a good lawyer group, and Martin just either needs to improve or leave. I think that's the end start for him.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And it's gonna be a great competition. Yeah, I think Martin maybe would try to bring a case, and then there'll be disagreement to it. Both and Gigi would be thinking of something. So I don't think as a team they can work really well, because Ashlyn and our main character, they can work well. They have an understanding with each other, and maybe if Gigi joins with us, they can also work well. So, but with them, the three of them think differently, and Martin's there to make things worse, and Bo is also like, yeah, I got everything, but he doesn't have anything. So also like Gigi is the only person who can think technically, but he's also not doesn't show up much for a competition. So yeah, it could be a disastrous on their side.
Yeah, especially with the fact that we've had like good chemistry they've got with each other. Like we worked with Aslin and Gigi. We've worked with Bo. We've made good relationship stats with them, and we've built good chemistry. We've kind of trusted each other, especially with the way Bo and the main character worked together on the Willow Harrington case. Bo walked off to go to the office and get some information while we interviewed the lunchee, divide and conquer, and that was a good agreement. He even got us a drink for help, and the information he got was reliant as well. So just the fact that all these four characters can work so well together, and then you just got Martin, who is just he's just a he's just an anchor for the rest of them, really.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's true. But the competition is going to be fiercer. I can see that in the next chapter, and it's going to be fun. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how it plays out. Hopefully, it goes in the way of us, which I've got a good strong feeling about with all the information we got. I think we got it.
Yeah, yeah, I think we got something when we researched it, Ryan, but they don't show us what we got. Probably they're going to show it when the we represent the case in this next chapter. But yeah, we got what we need, right?
Yeah, we're ready to go out with all we got. We're confident. We're, well, most likely, I can guarantee we'll get another outfit choice to wow the jury as per usual. So I
Yeah,
think we'll get instant bonus points for looks and charisma, and then the brains will help solidify that, and we'll take a strong victory. We'll get the partner, and we'll build that team. I see it working out really well. And in terms of Martin, though, he's gonna have to make his choice. I guarantee if he loses this, he'll have to make some drastic choices for himself and his place at the firm.
yeah. I agree with that. So the next chapter is could be access of this book. It could the whole thing can hinge around that. So yeah, we'll see what happens, how it goes with the competition, and do they want to drag the competition thing or fake court thing more, or they want to now start bringing up the case. That's the main case. So we'll have to see. So next chapter is really important. I would say this next chapter can allow the whole story depends on how the next chapter progresses. It's really important.
Yeah, we gonna be a dictator for a lot of things, and whether it impacts those things like severely or minimally will be really interesting to see, but also really important, especially with the relationships with Bill and with how we're doing ourselves as a lawyer, and just how we're able to do good in that world. It's just there's a lot to it. I think it's going to be a really interesting chapter, really a really important one, and who knows, we may even get a cliffhanger at the end of it with just the drama of it and just how important it'll be. It won't surprise me if a cliffhanger was snuck in.
Yeah, excited for that. Excited for that very much. This could be a really, like I said, vital defining chapter. And yeah, I can't wait for Wednesday. Wednesday can't come sooner for me.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm always shaking. I was with a friend. We were doing a countdown. So eager to wait. We just know that LOA is out today. We're eager to read it. But we've got to wait till halfway through the day. I
Yeah.
hate it.
Actually, my problem is in my place it releases around 11, so at night. So it's like so then I have to wait for the next day till the afternoon because after lunch I have free time. Then I read it. So yeah, it's like more wait for me.
Yeah, mine's halfway through the day, so I've got to try not to tell myself and try and keep myself composed instead of freaking out and just waiting for. 'Cause even though I want to read the chapter, I've got to be patient. Patience is a virtue, as I keep getting very frequently reminded of by everybody so far.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we need to do what was our client's name, by the way? Not our client's opposition. I don't know, Willow Harrington. Breathe in, breathe out.
Oh my.
Calm.
Breathe in, breathe out, win, repeat. In our case, that's what I
Yeah,
intend to
yeah,
do.
exactly, exactly. That's what we need to do. Yeah.
Or in her case, breathe in, breathe out, pay a settlement, or die, well, or die, or die trying to win a really impossible case.
Yeah. And I think Martin made a comment said, "Breathe in, breathe out." Says, "Breathe in air, breathe out settlement." That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was about the one good thing I think we'll get from Martin. The one good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hope maybe we can change. A lot of things can happen. I'm waiting for it. Because
It's just the tension and the
we have seen in the
possibility.
past too, like people who are really competitive at the end joining forces for the greater good. So it can
Mm.
happen. Maybe when we have the case, then we need to bury our hatchets. We need to bury our old hatchets, old fights, and we need to come together as a team for that moment. And then, well, Martin probably stand up for us, help us, like in Open Heart, Toby has helped us once. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, it just makes me think back to the enemy of our enemy is our friend. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if we don't put our differences aside, then we will never. we'll never have to go against them again because we won't be here or we won't be able to do anything with that. You know,
Yeah.
it's all about at least one thing I know is with people, they when they need to come together for a better purpose or because for some better reason, I do have faith that they do it and they will do it because they know they have to. And plus, if you don't, you can't keep going on to hating people or anything, can you?
Yeah.
So they do
Totally
come
agree with
together
that.
at least.
Yeah. So let's hope it lives up to our expectations, and we get to see more of Aslin, more of Gabe, specifically Aslin, and how they're gonna sort of design the chemistry between the relationship between our main character and Aslin. Real excited for that.
Who knows? Chapter 19, Aslan versus Gabe in the boxing ring. A fight for the
Yeah,
main character.
probably could be, but with Gabe, the kind of calm guy, I don't think that's gonna be the case. And
No, I
also,
got faith in
Aston
Aslan.
has,
He's
yeah,
unpredictable, and that
yeah,
is a very dangerous trait in someone. Unpredictability.
yeah. Since we have just two love interests, so that could be the case.
Yeah, I can't wait for it though. Honestly, this book has so much potential. I just hope it lives up to it.
Exactly. And I think, what would have been super awesome if they had made Gabe a gender customizable love interest and Ashlyn
Mm.
also a gender customizable love interest, just like what they did in Slow Burn. What they did in Slow Burn is absolutely perfect in terms of love interest and main
Good
character
ending.
selection. That's what it should be in every book. One main love interest, gender customizable, race customizable. The other love interest, if
Mm.
you're going with two love interests, then gender customizable. Just super awesome.
Just the amount of diversity to put into it was absolutely amazing. And it's just, yeah, I think it would have spiced things up. I really do, really wish Gabe was not gender locked. That's all I'm gonna say. Maybe Aslan as well, but I can see they have the fair reasoning. We've got an obvious possible love interest of Aslan, which is going to the male female, but it's still kind of biased toward the male side, which is kind of annoying, and gender with the gender locked as well. So I think with it being pushed so much towards Gabe, they shouldn't have made it gender locked.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I might get to see it.
Because when you have a forbidden romance and the guy who I think it's like the professor in Queen Bee, because Gabe is, like I said, after the last chapter we know now Gabe is the person who really brought us here. So it's totally going to be leaning toward him mostly. Like it's going to be 60-40 in terms of love interest. So yeah, but isn't a bad guy just a thing we can't, with like people who don't want to romance Gabe. For them, maybe they do want to spend time with him. They do want to get to know him, but maybe they just, those 30 diamond romantic scenes, they don't want to have that. So then there'd be problem. Yeah.
Yeah, just the fact of romancing different allies, this especially with like in terms when it comes to like side characters like the Robin player model from the Nanny affair that was brought to Lena, finally able to be romanced. It's just like it took long enough, but they should have really given that option. And personally, I wouldn't have minded an option with Zofia, maybe just for one night, give or take, even if
Yeah.
she is the hard-headed businessman she is.
Yeah. But it's just a female Robin, so there's still a male Robin. We don't know if it's gonna pop up in the somewhere in the next chapter.
Yeah, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, or maybe some other characters who were just side characters, or some, just some villain characters from previous books, though who people liked, and but they never got to have any scene with them. Maybe they can push those characters with different names in this book, and they can say like, "Look, you have these. Just enjoy, have fun."
Yeah, it's just there's just so much hype around all of this. I just can't wait. I want Wednesday now. Give us it now, please.
Yeah, that's the
Give us
thing.
it
When
Wednesday.
you play the book, when it's fully released, you just wait for your keys if you are not a VIP member. But yeah, but other than that, you need to wait 1 week straight.
Yeah. If only when the chapter came out you were able to you were able to do that thing where you can modify the the date and time so you could play the chapter early when it was fully released, just stuck behind a time limit. That's pretty much the oldest trick people wanted to do that doesn't even work on anything anymore, sadly. I miss it.
Yeah, exactly. And different time zones, so it releases at different times for different people. And maybe it releases at 1 a.m. for someone, so it's gonna be hard, you know.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's always gonna be there because of different time zones out there throughout the world. Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, I think because I know the few like there's I know a friend of mine who's 8 hours behind me, so the book for her would come out about 7 a.m. And then most of my friends who are 5 hours or 4 hours behind me, that'd be about dinner time. So that wouldn't even be bad for them. Lucky them.
Yeah, that'd be cool if it comes out at 7 a.m. Yeah, I mean they can read it throughout the. They have the whole day, you know, to read.
Yeah, we have the whole day to wait. They can just come on and read it.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, and can't wait for the next chapter. Like I said.
It's gonna be a real defining chapter. Cannot wait.
Yeah, true though. True. So I don't have anything.
Oh, yep. There we go. Can I cut out for a second there?
Yeah, yeah. So I had an internet issue. Yeah, go on.
That's all good.
You can hear me still, right?
Yep, loud and clear. I got you.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, no, but yeah, once again, thank you for having me. I absolutely love being here. Love giving, I love bringing up different theories, different analysis, and just being able to talk about all the different things choices gives us. It's really heartwarming. It honestly, God brightens my week up by a lot. So thank you so much again, and I really can't wait for chapter five, four,
Yeah.
five.
Yeah, like I said, I can't wait for chapter 5 either. And yeah, it was nice having you, like, you know, just getting to know your opinion. And, you know, yeah. So oftentimes if I just talk, you know, it's just about me, but, you know, yeah, it's like getting another voice in the room sort of thing. So yeah, people would be able to know, like, wow, so this is what's happening. And then with their own opinion. And so then, you know, it's just that would be a voice of reason and it's a meaningful conversation. So yeah, thank you for coming. I really had a nice 1.5 hour talking to you about choices. It really was awesome, and I'm really glad you came.
Yeah, likewise. I absolutely love being here, and who knows, maybe possible collaborations. Maybe you could get a couple people on here. Maybe have a good old group thing going on. That would definitely be something. A group talk about choices as well. I think that would be really interesting as well, because that way you'd be
Yeah,
getting multiple opinions, and that would definitely stretch out for some amazing content.
yeah, that would be super awesome. But yeah, now with group, the thing would be like, you know, having people with the same time because that's a really awesome. But you know, like people from different places, so it would be a thing to get them and at the same time, and then have the time. So yeah, it's gonna be super fun. But yeah, that's a good idea. Who knows?
Yeah, because you're getting so many different people from around the world giving various opinions. It's honest to God, like Martian Cat, she has some amazing opinions. I'd say definitely try and get back her here for some opinions on her books, especially when she finishes It Lives Beneath. That I haven't watched any yet, but I've heard that's been spicing up really well for her.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And that was a nice conversation with Kat. You know, I was a bit down that when I had before I had the conversation, but after the conversation, I was like, wow, it was really awesome. And like right now, this conversation, it like really lifted my mood. You know, these conversations are really meaningful. Like when you talk about something that you love mutually, and then you hear about other person's passion about it and then you share your own and it's just super awesome, you know, and it's just really meaningful and creative and yeah, it's just constructive, I think, instead of being destructive.
Yeah, and one thing I will say as well, Kat is an amazing person. Like her, one thing I'm saying back to her podcast, her passion is just so matched. I go into her streams, she's so welcoming, and she just makes you feel so much better. She's an amazing person, so I can easily see why after you feeling down was easily having your spirits lifted by talking to her and her passion as well. So that
Yeah, yeah,
I can
yeah,
easily
yeah.
see that being said.
Yeah, she's really passionate about whatever she does, at that moment, like if she's streaming, like she can really get into that characters, and yeah, she's just super awesome. That is, it's a very rare skill to have.
Yeah, who knows? Hey, Pixelberry, if you're going into that virtual reality voice concept, get on Martian Cat. Perfect voice
Yeah,
actor right there.
yeah,
Definitely
yeah,
go on.
definitely. Pixelberry got a lot of options, and yeah, that would be super awesome. And like
Yeah.
you said, the group chat that would be super awesome. Well, looking forward to it. And maybe yeah, after It Lives Beneath is finished by Martian Cat, then we can have you here, her here, and then we can have someone else, and then we can talk about various chats. It would be a really fun time. And it wouldn't be just two, but it would be like a lot of people. And it would be super awesome. It would be a boom.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it. We could talk about various books, like because we did my deeper meanings. We could do all the deeper meanings in one. See what choices is for everyone. See their deep feelings on certain stories. Go through many stories because there are so many
Yeah,
stories, so many opinions,
yeah,
and so many people.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
infinite possibilities.
Yeah, I would see when I can do that. Definitely. I mean, but yeah, I will wait for her to finish It Lives Beneath, because I can guarantee, like as you know, also you're gonna finish through her stream. I think It Lives Beneath. It's a great book. Almost everyone has played It Lives, and it's a lot of people's favorite books. Yeah, that would be super awesome. I definitely am looking forward to that.
Definitely. Yeah, I cannot wait.
Yeah. Okay, so see you next week when this next chapter releases. If you're free, we can maybe have another conversation about that too.
Yeah, of course. My schedule should be freeing up in terms of my 2 days that I can't do due to my college year actually coming to an end in the next 2 months. So that means I will be free all of August and possibly early September, depending on my new timetable as well, because I will be down to 1 week a day mostly, depending on the
Uh,
college. So I may have more time open.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And then when we have other, like the idea you gave me about the group chat, then also you gotta have a free time. So yeah, that would be super cool too. Then
Yeah, like I said, the perfect amount. Get on that Instagram, get those group chats up, get coordinating, get that amazing content, and just have a great time. It's
yeah,
gonna be. I personally think it'll be amazing.
yeah, sure, that'd be super awesome. So see you again, and I think I'm gonna see more of you, and specifically when we have the big chat with a lot of people, then we're gonna have. I'm gonna see a lot of you too. So yeah, stay safe. Just keep playing choices and stay safe. Stay happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. See you later. Thank you. Until next time.
Yeah, till next time. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.